Before we start our video, we want to state that we do not condone violence against any animals and gambling can have risks. This video is based off history and does not promote harm to any living creatures. Hey guys, welcome to the YouTube channel of Conscious History, where we will unveil the hidden truths of the past. Everyone knows that feeling. You place your bets and the boost of adrenaline tells you this is the day you will win big. In ancient Rome, that feeling was no different. They gambled on a sport that was deeply loved by many, and for some, even an obsession: chariot racing. In some Roman archives, it is told that the city was practically empty when chariot racing began. During chariot racing, they gambled. In a Roman's life, religion and rituals played a huge part, so for them, virtue would decide whether they would win or lose while gambling. Some emperors even had raffle tickets thrown in the stands where a Roman could win a farm, a house or a ship. The Roman people were testing their luck, and the chariot drivers were risking their lives to become rich. One talented chariot driver would eventually become the highest paid athlete in history. Imagine the horses and their drivers waiting impatiently in each of the 12 starting boxes. The horses are scarping their hooves, pushing against the door. Screams of excitement from people in the Circus Maximus, an arena that could host up to 150,000 people, 3 times the size of the Colosseum. At the blast of trumpets, the gates open, and a white cloth called a mappa is tossed into the arena. The race begins. The chariots shoot onto the track and people cheer. The earth trembles under the wheels and hooves. The first chariot takes the bend and people scream. Some chariots take the bend too tight. With a nasty crack, the chariot smashes into pieces against the central reservation. The horses are foaming at the mouth. The sand is flying. We, from Conscious History, welcome you to the world of chariot racing. If you like our content, like and subscribe to our channel or support us at conscioushistory.backme.org. And let's dive deep into ancient Rome's racing fever. At first, wealthy Roman nobles competed against each other for honor in their own chariots. As more people joined to watch, more people experienced the addictive racing fever, which caused chariot racing to expand rapidly. In the 2nd century BC, because of Roman conquest, large sums of money entered the sports. The prize money was high, and therefore stables slowly grew into professional factions or teams. The Romans became obsessed with racing fever. A Roman poet wrote that the Romans needed 2 things in life: Panem et Circenses, meaning bread, and racing circuses. People went to the races with their families and would arrive at dawn to be sure of getting a good seat. The marble seats at the front were reserved for senators. The race fans could buy snacks, wine and bread in numerous stalls. Souvenir shops sold statues of their favorite chariot driver, and prostitutes offered themselves in the dark corners of the entrances. This caused individuals to bet large sums of money on their favorite teams or sometimes on their favorite driver. Here, clever businessmen turned out to be true bookmakers and arranged the bets. Fans gave their children their idol's name or imitated their behavior. Victorious horses were just as adored as their drivers. The fans knew everything about their favorite animal: age, origin, starting speed and number of victories. Some fans even attended every training session, and some took it so far where they would take horse droppings home to make sure their darling hadn't eaten anything that could undermine his performance. There were Roman laws against many forms of gambling in public, but betting money was allowed on athletic events if they were done for virtue. Chariot racing clearly fell under this category due to its popularity. While some gamblers won big, others faced losses. To prevent riots coming from lost gambling bets, sometimes raffle tickets where someone could win a house, a ship or a horse were tossed into the stand. This caused the gambling process to go more peaceful, because they knew riots were inevitable. The fans associated with the teams they supported depended on the neighborhood they came from. Rome was divided into white, red, green and blue districts. The Circus Maximus was divided into supports from each team, and each team absolutely hated each other. Sometimes fights broke out between rival fans. Unlike the gladiatorial games, men and women could sit together in the circus, where people could flirt with each other during games if fights didn't break out. Usually, rival fans were marked when their team lost. This eventually led to sabotage and threats to drivers and trainers just before important racing days. Some fans did everything they could to earn the victory. They even resorted to sorcery and had astrologers curse their opponents. For this reason, cursed tablets have been found near the arena. The most fanatic ones would do anything for their team. When a famous driver of the Reds died in an accident, according to Roman archives, a fan threw himself into the corpse fire to burn with his hero. After the races, the fans went to the pub, where they stayed until dawn to celebrate their victories. If your team did not win at the games, you were marked at those drinking parties, which inevitably led to fighting. Sometimes random civilians would get attacked by racing hooligan fans with their fists, boots and daggers, while shouting hateful war songs, to which the emperor had to deploy his guard to restore the peace. Racing fever was in the blood of the Romans, even though there were exceptions. The writer Pliny the Younger, who was a lawyer, author and magistrate of ancient Rome, wrote in a letter the following: "I am amazed that thousands of adults behave like toddlers. All they want is horses galloping and men trying to keep upright on their chariots, again and again. You could still understand if it was about the speed of the horses or the skill of the drivers, but no, it's only about the color. The color of a tunic is decisive, not only for the plebs, but also for many honorable citizens." Yes, for some Roman people, one specific color meant everything. Usually, the drivers were therefore not very loyal to their team. As soon as another team offered more money, they defected without hesitation. One driver that eventually would become the highest paid athlete of all time was Gaius Appuleius Diocles. Unlike other drivers, Diocles focused on competitions with large cash prizes. He won the grand prize of 50,000 sesterces 29 times, about 50 times as much as the annual salary of a Roman soldier. Therefore, Diocles achieved star status during his career to where he bought several estates and was adored by women and fans who bought little statues of him and placed them in their homes. Chariot racing would of course not go out without a bang. Even after Imperial Rome fell in 476 AD, the sport continued for a while, with the city's new barbarian rulers continuing to organize races. It also remained popular in the Eastern Empire that had seceded from Rome. During a fiercely contested race in Constantinople in 532 AD, fans of the green factions of riders clashed with supporters of the blue faction. When authorities arrested and then tried to hang some of the offenders, all hell broke loose. The two factions joined forces and demanded the release of the prisoners, and when that didn't happen, they set fire to the city's hippodrome. The infamous Nika riot, which lasted for days, is estimated to have killed as many as 30,000 people. That catastrophe very likely hastened the end of Roman chariot racing in the Eastern Empire. Chariot racing lost importance in the Western Roman Empire after the fall of Rome, and the last known race took place at the Circus Maximus in 549. Ancient Rome and their racing fever. Some gamblers won big and won a house, a farm or a ship. Some gamblers lost. Some chariot racers etched their name in the annals of history, while others never left the racing fields. It shows that life is a gamble, or in Roman words, it all depends on virtue. Did you know of the love the Romans had for their teams, and the fact that many people would turn to hooliganism if their team lost? What did you think of Diocles, and the fact that he became the richest athlete of all times? Leave me your answers below in the comments, and if you like the content, like and subscribe to our channel or support us at conscioushistory.backme.org. We love making in-depth history videos. See you next time at Conscious History.